You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is November 21st, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County Board of Health. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, I call to order this meeting of the LaPorte County Health Department. Who wants to, should we go with roll call first?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Mrs. Arnold.
Here.
Dr. Uhas.
Here, Musil.
Ms. Lawn.
Here.
Dr. Manning Cox. Here. Dr. Nelson. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Next is approval of the minutes.
Which we're unable to do right now
Okay.
because we don't have a quorum.
All right, due to not having a quorum of members present in the building, do we need to do anything to put this, put a pin in it until January? Oh, wait. Oh, we have a quorum.
Not the right number anymore.
We have a quorum.
All right.
Do we need to go back over roll call and add one person to our list?
Let him get started.
Now I turn to my bed.
Sit down.
Yeah, take his coat off. Put his coat on.
And just for the record, Dr. Nelson is now present. So we have a quorum.
Very good. Okay, so we should go just to approval of minutes? All right. Who wants to make a motion to approve the minutes? Who wants to second?
Second.
Fantastic. All say aye.
Hi.
Anyone against that? Wonderful. Public comment. I'd like to open the floor to public comment. Public? Going once, going twice, all right. No comments. Next, reports and discussions. Let's start with the health officer's report.
Okay, you've got a report for me that I did several weeks ago, so I've got a few things that I'm just going to comment on because obviously things have changed a little bit. COVID is still with us, so that has not changed. There was a little bit of a peak a couple months ago, and that seems to have gone down again. But obviously winter, well, it came today, but it hasn't really been here, so we'll see what numbers go up. There is an expectation that both cases, deaths, hospitalizations, or all of those will go up. And the interesting thing is thought that greater than 95% of people currently have identifiable antibodies against COVID, whether they think they've had it or not. So there is a degree of immunity that's out there, even among those that aren't immunized. And they think that at least 2/3 have been of people 60 and over had COVID, and some of the rest maybe because from their shots. They continue to have new vaccines, and I know that Jenny's going to talk more about vaccines, so I'm not going to go too far in there. But one of the recommendations that has been put out a lot stronger right now is that if you've had COVID recently, you should wait 3 months before you get your next COVID shot. That it seems to be more effective if you actually put it off for 3 months. Bird flu, again, there's up to 53 human cases. No one has been particularly ill with it. They've all had minor illnesses, but that it is not considered a public health concern at this time, although certainly CDC is watching it very carefully to make sure that doesn't change. There's been no human to human contact yet that they're aware of. So this is passed by contamination from poultry or mammals, that type of thing. Monkeypox, I did mention in here that it's a significant issue in Africa with lesser in other countries, but the United States has now had its first documented case of monkeypox. It was someone who came from Africa and has apparently recovered, but we've actually now had one form of monkeypox, and it was of the Clade 1, which is the serious one. Clade 2 is not uncommon, and that has been in the United States in the past, but Clade 1 has not. And but there doesn't seem to be any local spread of it. So at this point, it's something they're just really watching. And there are people that it is recommended that they consider getting a vaccine, and there's a list of what would make them eligible for that. Influenza activity is still really low. There's very little influenza around. I know we all know that's going to change, but right now it is very low. In fact, which is seemed to be when reading the stuff from CDC is that they were a little surprised at how low it was. So hopefully it'll stay that way, but not really expected to. If the right now, the flu influenza that's around is mostly A, 92%, and some influenza B. So the other thing that I wanted to mention, no, I guess that's it for me. Again, I had some stuff about immunizations, but I saw your report, so I'll let you do that. So that's my report.
Administrators report? Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't you have to
Yes.
accept this?
Yeah.
We need a motion to accept the health officers report.
So moved.
Fantastic. All say aye if you agree.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone say nay? We need to go through each person's name, don't we? Because we have one person on the interweb.
Do you?
Yeah,
Got it.
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm
Mrs. Arnold.
trying to be appropriate.
Aye. Dr. Nelson.
Dr. Nelson, aye.
Ms. Lon.
Miss Lawn, aye.
Dr. Manning Cox.
Aye.
Dr. Uhas. Thank you.
All approved. Next would be the administrator's report, Amanda.
Good afternoon on this wet, cold, rainy first snow of the day of the year. Of the season, I should say, not the year. So there's a recap from our last meeting. We did talk about, even though the fair is technically third quarter, we did talk about it some last meeting. But we had a very successful fair. This year we had 2 sites at the fair. We were in the community building. It's not the community building, is it? Commercial, thank you. It started with a C, I was close. The commercial building, and then we also had our trailer on site that we, it was our first outing with our trailer, and it went very well. It seemed that people were quite interested in it. And another big thing that happens during that quarter, at the end of that quarter, actually goes through until early October, even into November, until we get the first hard freeze, is mosquito season. We do monitoring for that. We do it, the state also does it by setting out traps. And the traps that we are setting are called gravid traps. It's basically a black container that has, they call it a stew on the inside. It's decomposing organic material to attract the female mosquitoes. And then there is a net and a fan that pulls the mosquitoes up into the net. And then so we are setting the traps, going out and collecting the nets, and humanely euthanizing the mosquitoes. And those get sent down to the Indiana Department of Health and entomology laboratories to be tested. So specifically, we're doing that to look for West Nile virus and others like Zika. We won't have Zika up here, but there's a lot of money available right now for Zika. And some of the others that they're still monitoring regularly would be the Triple E virus, Eastern equine encephalitis, and lacrosse encephalitis. We don't see that very often, maybe once or twice, once a decade or once every other decade. But if you're getting Eastern equine encephalitis, the mortality rate is very high on that. So the chances, once you're bitten and you become infected and ill with that, the chances of survival are negligible.
Didn't we have, not in LaPorte County, but like in Berrien County, Michigan, didn't we have a death or two or 3 years ago? It was right during the COVID time, I thought.
Yeah, that was, yeah. There was a lot going on that year. So we we did have cases that year. Here in LaPorte County, it was the first time we've had cases in decades. We had 3 sick horses and 1 human, and I believe that person did end up eventually passing away. But it is very popular. You'll see it every year up in Michigan because the mosquito, it likes the bogs where it lives at. And so we see a lot more of that territory north of us than here. We're kind of like, it can be fatal for horses. There is a vaccination that's available for horses, but with any vaccine, it's not 100% effective.
And I think
100%
horses have to be
efficacy.
vaccinated twice a year to be effective continually. They have a higher metabolism for that.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So if you have a lot of horses, you might not be able to afford to do that, or not everybody vaccinates their animals. So yeah. That's just one of the things that we do. And we do it typically while we have our interns. It's because I have that extra people to be able to set out the traps and then collect everything. But we typically have to end that program when the interns go back to school. Same thing with the state programs. But we're lucky that we get extra coverage because the state sets up traps in our county. They're not able to set up traps everywhere. We had multiple vaccinations, vacancies in the department. We were able to fill those. We are, knock on wood, fully filled in the nursing department after 3 years. Again, we'll knock on wood and make sure we hold on to all those positions. We had a vacancy also in the food division. We have a new environmental health specialist who started with us. That actually has a degree in public health. Those are the first for us. And she's working out very well. And we also had a vacancy in our clerical division, which we were able to fill rather quickly, thankfully. But again, it was kind of a disadvantage and caused a little, not too much issue, but because of Health First Indiana and the legislation, we had to wait 30 days before we could fill that position. So, yeah. Budget hearings took place in July. The monies that we were receiving from the state next year for Health First Indiana is $2,621,747.38. And the minimum match that the county had to give us was $548,000. So I did include all of our different funds, different accounts that I manage in your packet. So you could see what was approved for budgets and what I asked for out of our budgets. 1161 is the Health First Indiana Fund. And there's a breakdown on the right-hand side for the categories and what monies were approved for those categories. 1159 is the Health Department Fund. Again, that's the fund that we receive from our tax levy. And that's what the county has to give us every year. So I did ask for a little more than the $548,000. It actually is a little over $553,000, which the council approved. The other budget, communicable disease 2704 is a non-reverting account. So that means the money that we take and we make in the department that comes through our register, that goes into a separate fund. It doesn't go into the general fund. That's our fund to be able to use specifically for communicable disease or the nursing division. 2705 is the Serve Safe, so that's the testing that we do for the restaurants. They have to have a certified food operator. They have to have that by taking an exam, and that is good for 5 years. We are able to offer that. We don't teach the classes, but we do proctor the exam. The water lab's kind of self-explanatory. Is 2711, and that last one, the Health Environmental Fund, the 9119, that's the fund that Mike Sandy was always asking about, the tipping fees that we received when the landfill closed. So we have over $50,000 in that account. I requested $5,000 to be able to use just in case. We did use some of that this year for Legionella testing, water testing, but it is specifically, it was originally set up to be able to do water testing. So I did put in a request for $5,000 just in case we need it, because it's easier to have it set up an account ready to go than having to go to the council, which only meets once a month, to be able to request to use those funds. So that's why you see that one, there's only 5,000 and not the 50,000, but it is there if I needed it, so. Yes.
All right, all in favor of accepting the administrator's report as read? I need a nomination, or I need.
To approve the amendment.
Second. All right, we have a motion, a second on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Oh, we have to do this by name? Sorry. I will get used to, I'll be ready for it by the time we adjourn.
Mrs. Arnold,
Lauren Arnold, yes.
Dr. Nelson,
Yes.
Ms. Lon,
Yes.
Dr. Manning Cox.
Yes.
Dr. Uhas.
Dr. Uhas? Dr. Uhas, are you still online? I see you, but I don't hear you. There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, next is the nursing supervisor's report.
Good afternoon. We are now utilizing VaxCare for our privately insured population. So in addition to our Medicaid and uninsured population, we can now see fully insured kids and adults, and VaxCare will bill those vaccines for us. We have been doing free influenza vaccines for county employees. We've had 3 separate clinics in both offices, and we've been serving them when they can come up and get those on their schedule. The flu vaccine has important benefits. It can reduce flu illness, it can reduce visits to doctor's offices, and it helps prevent missed work and school, as well as make symptoms less severe and reduce flu-related hospitalizations. We do have the updated COVID vaccine for the fall. That does help prevent severe disease, hospitalization, and death. It is extremely important to get it if you are age 65 and older or at high risk for severe COVID, reside in a long-term care facility, or just want to lower your risk of acquiring COVID. We do now have the RSV vaccine for adults and the monoclonal antibodies for babies, and we're offering it in our immunization clinics. The antibody, the RSV monoclonal antibody, is recommended for all babies that are younger than 8 months of age, born to mothers who did not receive the maternal RSV vaccine during pregnancy. The dose should be given to babies shortly before the RSV season or within 1 week after birth, if born during the RSV season, which is October to March. We do recommend the RSV vaccine for all adults age 75 years and older, or for adults age 60 to 74 who are increased risk of severe RSV infection. Any questions?
Would you do testing? Are you doing the skin test or
Skin
the blood
test.
test? Okay.
Yeah, the skin test. And I did provide you the numbers for the third quarter. The immunizations, we did see 198 clients and administered 410 immunizations in LaPorte, 301 clients and 571 immunizations in Michigan City, for a total of 499 clients and 981 immunizations last quarter. For our laboratory services, we saw 24 in LaPorte, 14 in Michigan City, for a total of 38. 80 reports of communicable disease were reported to us. We did 6 Crips for Kids education programs. For lead, we followed up on 7 outside elevated blood lead levels and did 3 home evaluations. The confidential services clinic, we saw 14 total clients. And we did 152 TB tests and 10 clients for travel immunizations. Any questions?
Anyone have questions for Jennifer? No? I need a motion to accept. All right, Dr. Cox made a motion. Who would like to second?
Second.
Fantastic. All in favor, say aye in order of your name.
Mrs. Arnold.
Good.
Aye. Dr. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Lawn.
Aye.
Dr. Manning Cox. Dr. Uhas. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the Environmental Health Food Division Supervisor's Report.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
I got a little cold thing going on, so. In the third quarter, we had 58 septic permits that were issued, 49 well permits that were issued, and 10 well inspections. The lead assessments were 2 just for the quarter, 38 complaints, 29 pool inspections, 1 new tattoo shop. We had 208 food inspections and 178 temporary food inspections, so we're really glad those are scaling back at this point in time. Although we're still doing temporary food inspections this weekend and like the following 2 or 3 weekends, we still have people who are doing temporary events. Like Amanda mentioned, we do have a new food inspector. She's working out very well, and she is currently out on her own already. So that's very good for us. Just wanted to add a few things. Amanda was talking about the mosquito sampling. We concluded that on August 30th. We did have 4 positive West Nile virus pools in the county and no human cases. The water lab is now open. I thought you were going to talk about that, but.
The water lab is now open.
Yeah, so, but the numbers that I have are still when we were contracting that out to Mishawaka, so they did 368 bacteria, 227 pools, 2 surface waters, 167 nitrate, 12 nitrite, 18 lead, 8 iron, 1 fluoride, and 5 irrigation wells. But we are very happy that the water lab is open, up and running, brand new system, scanning in samples. It's a whole new system for us, so it seems to be going pretty smoothly. A little glitches with the software. So that's all being worked out. The health educator did 10 health education events in the quarter, 2 Narcan trainings with 377 doses distributed, and 33 car seats given away. We do have 1 unsanitary living complaint that is currently with the county attorney's office, but the other ones we reported last time have all been cleared up. Those have all been taken care of, and that's over. Questions? Thank you.
The motion to accept.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye when she calls your name.
Mrs. Arnold. Aye. Dr. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Lawn.
Aye.
Dr. Manning Cox. Dr. Uhas. Thank you again.
All right, next would be the attorney's report.
Am I on?
Yes.
Can you, good afternoon, everyone. Hi. As Ms. Wozniak reported, we have one pending case. Last report, everybody is finally getting on board. We had a problem, we had difficulty perfecting service, but that has since been remedied and it sounds like it's moving in the right direction. So we'll see what the next couple months bring, but we're hoping that that too will be remedied very quickly to everyone's satisfaction. So knock on wood about that.
All right, I need a motion to accept. So I need a second.
Second.
Fantastic. All in favor of accepting the attorney's report?
Say your name.
Lauren Arnold. Aye. Dr. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Lawn.
Aye.
Dr. Manning Cox. Dr. Uhas.
Aye.
Righty. Thank you again.
Moving on to new business, which we have none. Nothing to add. And old business, we have nothing, I think. Is there anything else that need to be discussed before we select our first meeting date of 2025? No? All right, so let's take a look at our January schedules and come up with a date and time. I assume 4 o'clock is our normal time. Is that correct? And we usually,
We like to be on every Tuesday or second Tuesday.
It's always been the third.
That if we could have a meeting. Because we're coming up in January, correct?
yes, January. So if we go for the second, that would be the 14th. If we go to the third, that'll be the 21st. That would be the day after Martin Luther King Day. Anybody have a great idea for that day? Do we want to make it the 14th or the 28th or the 21st?
Makes no difference to me.
It has no difference to me.
I suggest the 14th, just so that we could get it over with. It's not like the weather's going to be any better or any worse one week opposed to the other, and I just don't want it right next to a 3-day weekend for some folks, especially because we don't know if we're going to have
I know.
a full group of
True.
members. So I am making the suggestion we make it for the 14th at 4 p.m. in this building, in this room.
14th works for me.
All right, so do we need to nominate, vote on it, all that kind of stuff, or?
Might as well.
We can make sure, we'll check with the commissioner's office to make sure that it's available. If it is, we'll let everybody know. If it's not, we'll send out a query to see, we'll offer dates that are available.
All right, if that is finished, I would be welcome to
And can I add one thing to that?
yes.
Since we're going to be asking if we wanted to go ahead and set dates for, not necessarily we don't have to pick the date, but for the rest of the year. Historically, we usually do that third Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
So April, July, and October, if everybody's okay with that, I can see if that third Tuesday, or Julie can see if that third Tuesday is available.
Okay.
Does Tuesdays work for you, Dr. Nelson?
Yeah, that's actually my best day.
Okay.
It's my best day.
I'm retired, so.
All right, so
Thank you.
that's finished. We could just go on to, I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Dr. Cox. Who would like to second that motion?
Second?
Fantastic. Let's vote on that.
Mrs. Arnold. Aye. Dr. Nelson.
Aye.
Ms. Lawn.
Aye.
Dr. Manning Cox. Dr. Uhas. Thank you and good evenings.
Have happy holidays, everyone. Safe drives home, and we will see you in 2025.
I don't want to go back out there, so.